Oh, what's up, guys? Yeah, it's like my first YouTube video in about 2 or 3 months, I believe. Okay, yeah. I believe it's my first video in like 2 or 3 months, and it's going to be pretty much completely unfiltered because I've really learned a lot about like content creation, about what to do online, and I've decided I'm going to be shifting more of my content creation towards TikTok for now, and I think just YouTube is going to be more for maybe like training videos, vlogs, unfiltered advice videos, or like maybe some complex training videos, but I think for now, I want to just make more unfiltered content and just really give my advice, talk about like my opinion on things, my view on the world, my philosophy towards things, my personal experiences, and I guess just like maybe even like an online journal, to be honest, because I feel like some people do journals where they talk online about their experiences, and a lot of people honestly enjoy that content. And I know some people like close to me said they really enjoyed my YouTube videos, they really liked them. So I figured, like, you know what, like honestly, I might just like keep doing these videos, but just make them unfiltered, so that way I don't have to spend a ton of time editing. So yeah. Also, too, biggest reason I was off YouTube for a while was because my phone actually couldn't download iMovie, so I was like stuck without iMovie. I couldn't even edit videos, so I was like, well, I can't do much for YouTube, and I kind of like put off trying to figure out what happened. Well, I learned it happened, I got it fixed, but I am going to make sure I get this video up. I don't think it's going to be edited unless I really butcher something like horribly bad, or if I say something like not good at all, then I'll do it. I'm going to review it obviously before I post, just so I can be careful what I'm saying and put it online. But yeah, these new videos are going to be pretty unfiltered, and I actually filmed this video like a week or two ago. I just decided to refilm because I was looking back at it, I was saying likes and a bunch of that other BS so much, and also too, I was kind of all over the place. Actually, I wrote down and organized my thoughts and put it in a better, like, concise message, which I think is important. But now my introduction's kind of done. We're actually getting like what I want to talk about in this video, and I basically want to talk about a really important concept when it comes to self-improvement, or really developing any good habit. And basically, it is a chase of improvement and not perfection, because really you're not gonna be perfect with anything you do ever. It's like pretty much impossible. And I've done this myself many times. I'm sure you have, or you know someone who does. Hair keeps falling down. And I've done this. Sorry, but we've all seen it before, where we see someone who wants to pick up a good habit, and they like kill it the first like week or two. Then all of a sudden they fall off and they go back down on their bad habits, or even worse, they pretty much do a complete rebound. And really, it's because they tried to do a habit that was unsustainable, at least at that level for now. Not saying it will be unsustainable. I'll get into that later. But when you try to develop a good habit, if you try to just chase improvement, you're not going to be able to sustain it, and it's not going to work. What you need to do is you need to find a way to work towards that habit. You need to like have a goal, long-term goal in mind, and take baby steps towards that habit, and really try to achieve perfection with these little things, and then work your way up towards it. So I'm going to give an example. Basically, if you want to get into lifting, I see this happen so much. A lot of people, I want to train 6-7 days a week, which is honestly a pretty stupid way to train. But they want to train 6 or 7 days a week. But the problem is that they haven't trained at all. And then they try to stick up with it, and they get like fatigued, too burned out, and they just give up training altogether. And then they try to like go back and forth and just doing the same thing over and over again, but it doesn't work. What they should do instead is they should start out training 2 or 3 days a week, at least, maybe 4, if they're really feeling that like much of a bug for it. But like start small and perfect those workouts and perfect going during those days of the week, and then build their way up to like 4 or 5 days during the week, doing harder training and just making something like more intense overall. It's honestly the same thing as progressive overload. Like if you're trying to deadlift 500 pounds, you're not going to be able to do that when you start. I mean, unless you're a genetic freak or you're just like really, really fat, but most people aren't. You're likely going to be very weak. So what you have to do is you have to like spend a lot of time like getting your deadlift up to 225 if you need to, then 315, 405, then like 500, you know. I think like a few weeks ago I hit 365 or 15 on deadlifts. I remember like my first time when I tried deadlifting like 6-7 years ago, I failed 140 and my grip gave out. Like I literally couldn't do 140 for 1 rep. And then I did 365 for 15 a few weeks ago. So like I have like tripled to quadrupled my strength somewhere in there, you know. But really, you just gotta learn. Like you can't just achieve perfection or anything. The only perfect being out there is God. God is perfect, but we are humans. We are not perfect. We're not gonna be able to stick to anything. And you know, just honestly pick a habit and just do small steps and work towards it over time. And as you get better at those small steps, then you try to achieve perfection eventually. But at that point, it's going to be like hard, you know, you're going to be almost there. It's funny, is you'll look back when you're at that point and realize, like, wow, I've came a long freaking way. And I think that's all I really have for notes. Yeah, this really goes for anything, whether it's training, trying to improve your sleep schedule, trying to make friends, being more consistent with your relationship with God. Although I think you should really try to go like as hard as you can with that, you know, or cutting out a bad habit too. There are some habits you probably are better off like quitting cold turkey, but if like, you know, maybe you have a bad habit and you relapse like once or twice a month, it's better than what you were doing before where you were doing it every single day. And I guess to really just kind of show you guys like how this really can change your life and turn things around. I kind of want to talk about my experience like in my self-improvement journey I've had the last year and a half. Okay, I actually did edit a part of the video because it was like really bad, but it is what it is. So I kind of just want to talk about where I was when I was at a low point about a year and a half ago in February of 2022 versus now in October of 2023. So exactly like a year and a half actually. So for some background information, in February of 2022, I was in the second semester of my sophomore year of college. Prior to this, about a year before, I was living in Phoenix because my first year of college was online. The whole COVID thing happened right after high school. I went to college for one semester. Then I went to Phoenix for my second semester because it just wasn't worth the money with everything being online. Then moved back up for my first semester sophomore year, and it was good, I would say. It was okay actually. Compared to now, it sucked, but it was okay. And then I went through like a really bad second semester at the beginning, like January, February. I went through a really bad low point in my life at that time that I kind of used as a reference point. I've been using like the last year and a half. So some things really describe the low point was, I guess the big thing I just say was I was going through I was like depressed at that time. I think depression is overblown. I think a lot of it has to do with like how you choose to live your life, which I'll talk about, but it really has to do a lot with that. But I was depressed. I had a phone addiction. I was like on my phone all the time, and I was sad. I might look at my notes because there's a lot I want to talk about. I felt like my faith with God was pretty stagnant. I honestly credit a lot of that to like what was happening, but there's a really bad habit which I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to name in this video. It wasn't like alcohol or drugs, but it was something else, and I was like doing it every day for about 9 months before that. Like I wasn't doing it at all, and then I started doing it, and I think that's another big thing that really made my life so bad. But I was like, felt stagnant in my faith. I was sad, and my sleep was a train wreck. It isn't the best still, but I've come a long way since. So basically what I was doing for sleep back then is I would like sleep all over the place. I would sleep for like maybe like a few hours at night, then sleep later in the day, and sometimes I wouldn't go to bed till like 6, 7 in the morning, and then I'd wake up and it'd be like midday, and I missed a lot of my class because of that. So I skipped a lot of my classes, and my grades were horrible. Well, they weren't like horrible, but they were not very good, like compared to what I know I'm capable of. Like I was like getting a lot of C's and stuff, because I was skipping class. I was missing a lot of stuff, and these are some tough classes. Like this is organic chem, anatomy, and there's another hard one. Oh, functional anatomy. That was a hard class, but you know, like I was not doing very good in school. Yeah, and my social life was not good. So at that time, I lived with 3 guys. 2 of them were cool, and I actually really liked 2 of them still. And there was this one guy who was a foreign exchange student from China, which nothing against that, but this guy was a total dickhead. He would like stink up the kitchen, make horrible smelling food, make a mess, and honestly ruin the entire dynamic of the apartment. Like it kind of like ruined the whole entire like dynamic me and my roommates had, and it just sucked because he kind of like made their life sucky too, and we didn't realize it until this guy moved out later. That's a different story for another video. But yeah. But outside of like my roommates, I didn't really have many friends. I didn't really have a church community, like a Christian community I could really grow with. I didn't have many close friends I felt like I could open up to and like talk to. You know, I just felt like pretty lonely, you know, and it's because I was. And yeah, and like even my training, which is something I usually take very seriously, my training was not optimal because I was dealing with like so much, and I was like mentally weak. I was only training like a few days per week. I had to take a few weeks off because I was sick, but that kind of like for like a month or 2, like I was kind of like not training at my best. You know, I wasn't like training like the way I should have. You know, I was like training a few days a week versus like what I should have been doing. I worked out with my coach. I was working with my coach still, but I kind of like worked it out with him, and yeah, I got through that though. But my diet sucked too. I was like bulking, but I was dirty bulking pretty much. I was eating a ton of cane stuff because I worked there. Also too, in February and like January, that was before I had a job, so I was pretty much broke, wasn't working, and I think that contributed a lot to like what happened too. There was so much stuff, guys, but probably the worst part was I felt very hopeless and nihilistic. So I just become like the last year leading up to this, I became really red pilled about a lot of things, like society, how mainstream society is truly evil. There's so much like degeneracy and hedonism being promoted, and it's the downfall of people. And I was really seeing it for what it was. I was like really nihilistic about dating too. Like I believed that like I was at that point in time, like I was worried I was never gonna find someone I can marry and have a family with, because for me that's something I want. Like I want to have a wife that I love. And I was like same beliefs, values. Is a good person and loves God, and I want to raise a family like that. You know, I want to do that. But I felt like back then I was like, there's not many people with my same beliefs anymore besides my friends I have right now back at home in Phoenix, and like, you know, a few people I know up here. But I feel like just most people weren't like that. Like I believe most people were just like too far gone, and that really like gave me a bad view of the world, and I just felt very depressed and nihilistic. So I basically just spent the last few minutes like shitting on how bad my life was, but it gets a lot better because around March, about a month later, you know, after I got sick, I started taking my life a lot more seriously. There is this guy I talk about a lot in my older videos. I still watch him actually. His name's Hamza, or Hamza. I call him Hamza. I honestly, the reason I like this guy so much, because he honestly saved my life and got me through a low point in my life. Like he taught me a lot of things and gave me like, you know, his videos are something I can look forward to during the day, and it really like inspired me to work harder. And he taught me this habit I'm talking about in this video actually. But I started journaling and I made friends. I found a youth group called InterVarsity, which I'm in now, but I still am. I met a few like good friends there, and I started going there, found a good sense of community. And then you know, I started working towards cutting out that bad habit, which was like, I'm not gonna name, but if you know me personally, you probably know what it was. But I cut out that bad habit, and I started taking training more serious again. I started taking school more serious, and I was able to bring my grades up. And yeah, I was able to bring my grades up quite a lot, you know. And that semester wasn't like, it ended up being my best semester, but I was able to like save myself a lot from like the first 2 months when I was dealing with horrible mental health. And yeah, so that was like what I did, you know. And I was going to be alone for the summer in Flagstaff, but I kept a positive mindset. And I think a big part of it too was I stopped doing that bad habit completely, and I'm about almost a year and a half like free of that. And I credit God for helping me with that, because it was something I couldn't have done on my own. But that's the other thing too, is I really just started focusing on my relationship with God, growing closer to God, reading my Bible every day, and like making personal time for prayer. And so I started doing that, and then I went through the summer, and then I had last year, which big thing that I think really helped a lot too is my contest prep for my bodybuilding show. Like I actually feel like I had a sense of purpose, you know. I had a goal in mind, and I really just started working towards it, and it made me happy doing that. Even like the last 2 months, like I was flat out suffering. I was on my purpose. I felt happy. I knew I was doing something good for the long run. But last year, I just like kind of focused on like just improving a bit all the time. I was training more seriously. Obviously, I was on a strict diet, you know, for my competitions. My like diet was better. I improved my sleep more and more. I improved my social life. I improved my connection with God and everything else. And it all just like kind of fell into place. And where am I at now? Well, now I'm like I'm in the first semester of my senior year, and I'm feeling, honestly, I just say it like happy. I'm feeling pretty like happy and content. I'm not satisfied. I want a lot more, don't get me wrong, but I feel a lot happier with where I'm at now. And to really just kind of show you guys, I feel like I'm the closest I've ever been to God. I've read the entire Bible now, and I make time every single day. And after I finish this video, I'm actually gonna annotate my Bible and go through. I'm starting a new book. I don't remember which one it was. It's in the New Testament. I'm gonna be doing that, and then I'm gonna finish stretching and eat my last meal, take a cold shower, and get to bed. That's what I'm gonna do. But I feel a lot closer to God. I'm just trying to read all the things. There's a lot of stuff I talked about. I just want to see. But I feel a lot closer to God. I'm doing a lot better in school now. I pretty much like get A's and B's for the most part now. So I'm doing a lot better in school, and I have, and as far as like training and physique goes, like I'm bigger and stronger than I was a year ago. I'm bigger and stronger than I was in my contest prep a year ago. I've improved that. My diet's a lot cleaner now. Now that I did experience like basically an extreme like contest prep diet, I learned how to find a true balance, and I find a diet that actually is good and healthy. So I'm eating a lot cleaner now. I'm working more. I have a job at Canes. I've been out for a year and a half, and I actually have pretty good hours there. But I'm working, making money there, and I'm making money online now, which basically means I'm an entrepreneur. I think this year I'm gonna make like 1 to 2K off my online coaching and selling ebooks, which I know it's not that much, but like considering a year ago, I never even like could have like fathomed that. Like, it's cool to see I'm making money online now, you know, it adds up. But doing that, I think the biggest things though that I really kind of like saw the biggest improvements with though were my sleep schedule. So before I was like sleeping like on average probably like 4 or 5 hours a night. I think now I'm up to like maybe like 6 or 7 on a good week, 5 on a bad week, but I'm getting more sleep now. But I think the big part is I'm actually sleeping at night for like a solid block and not doing this random all over the place bullshit. Tonight it was like, okay, so what happened last night was I forgot to set my alarm. I slept 3 hours later than I was supposed to. If I had set my alarms, I've been fine. But because of that, like, it kind of threw my day off. But like before I was sleeping until like 2 or 3, and at worst, like now, today, because like at worst now I'll do, like for today for instance, is I'll sleep until like 11 or 12 at the worst. Usually I wake up around like 9 to, I would say around 10 actually. But I can get up earlier now, you know. So I like improve my sleep quite a lot. I don't miss my class anymore. Yeah, and I take school seriously. And I think a really big thing that I saw a huge improvement with was like friends. I'm like pretty close to a lot. I'm pretty close to a lot of people in my college group and like other people too. I've made a few really good friends up here that I would say I can like open up to and like talk about deep stuff with, and I just have like way more friends overall and a lot more respect for people, which a year and a half ago, besides like my roommates, I didn't really have any like friends up in Flag. And my friends at home, I'm closer to them than ever. And overall, guys, I think the big thing though, opposite of like what I felt back then, was I felt nihilistic about the world and my future. I feel hopeful now. I feel like, you know, I've learned there's a lot of good people out there who actually have the same values as me, and I will meet more friends that have the same values as me as I have, you know. I'm going to keep doing that, and I believe now, I know one day I'm going to meet someone who I can marry that has the same values as me and is perfect for me, and I'll be able to have a good, beautiful family. And I believe that there's a lot of evil and hedonism and heathens. It's funny because I remember like this last summer I was like saying that on my family vacation trip, and they thought it was funny. But yeah, there's a lot of like bad people out there, but there's also a lot of good people. I think the last couple of years I've seen a lot of like people become more aware to society and how much bullshit there is and how mainstream society is a lie. I think there's a lot of people who are realizing that, and it's going to turn around. I think a lot more people are turning back to God and to more traditional, healthier values, you know? So that gives me a lot of hope. I believe that, you know, I'm going to find more people and someone I can marry has the same like values as me. But overall, guys, I just am much happier. My life quality is much better. I'm doing better in school. I have a better social life. I feel much more happy overall. Physically, I'm a lot better. I'm stronger and leaner than I was a year ago at this body weight. I'm just overall doing really good, guys. I've improved like pretty much every area, and really it came down to the fact that I knew it wasn't gonna be perfect. I tried taking it one day at a time and achieving like small improvement over time, and taking it one day at a time. And I wasn't perfect throughout this entire process, and I'm not now. Like, I'll probably look back at this video in a year or two and be like, wow, my life was like a joke compared to what it is now, you know? I think the big things I want to focus on now are improving my sleep schedule and being more consistent with like content creation and working on my stuff every day, you know? Yeah, sorry, just got the allergies. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that's all I have to say today. If you watched this far, thank you guys. I hope you guys can learn something from this. You got some value from this video. But Yeah, this, like I said, is kind of going to be my new structure videos. I'm just going to be making these like more unfiltered videos. I am going to cut out one part from this video because it was like pretty bad. I butchered my words pretty badly, so I'm going to like cut that part out, but it's going to be a lot more unfiltered content, and it's more fun, more easy for me to make, and I'm looking forward to doing these talks, guys. I think it might just be a good way for me to kind of like relax from the day too. Just kind of give my advice at the end. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.